Today we're going to be going over 15 fresh fragrances that will help you build up the perfect collection for summertime. There's so many things to choose from here, and you don't need to buy all of them, but this gives you a really good selection based upon what you already have and what your taste is. Because there are a few in here that aren't your usual typical suspects. They're not your traditional summer fragrance. You know, they might have a little bit more of a woody nature to them or more of an aromatic approach or something like that. But there are also going to be some more standardized summer scents in here as well if you want to play it safe and you don't want to get off the beaten path too much. No matter what you're looking for or what you have, chances are you're going to find something new in here. And the great thing about summer, you know, is that really, as long as it's going to be in that fresh category, I mean, you can pretty much pull it off, and it gives you the opportunity to cycle through so many different types and styles of fresh fragrances. You can really start wearing them in spring, and you can keep working them in all the way until like the start of October, you know, just when fall's starting out. So you got a lot of time to be able to wear these and kind of enjoy them. So we'll move through these pretty quickly. I've covered most of these in depth on the channel somewhere anyway, so you can kind of look around if you want some more info on each one. But it's Missoni Wave is where we're going to start. Kind of has like a Versace Pour Homme and Chanel Allure Homme Sport mixture combined into one for about $40. You could get the Versace for about $40. You could get the Chanel for over $100. But you couldn't buy both of them and layer them to achieve this for $40. So this one really comes in at a good competitive price point if you do want the best of both worlds. This one has pretty quickly become just one of my favorites. You know, it just makes a lot of sense at this price point. You know, if it was $80, $100 on discounters, you know, there might be some better options out there. But this one's borderline cheapy price, and it is phenomenal for spring and summer. When it's warm outside, you get some sun and some heat on this stuff, it really kind of opens up and smells amazing. Has a nice creaminess with a bright citrus pop as well. It's great. So we're going to go with a clone up next. The reason why I'm throwing this in here is because it is a clone of a discontinued fragrance that I absolutely love, and I want to make sure I get this DNA in here. It's Fragrance World Feroce Pour Homme. It's a clone of Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue Forever. This is about as spot on as it could get. You know, just before shooting this video, I picked it up and smelled it again. I mean, not having to atomize the scent to, you know, see how close it is. Just smelling it off the dry down here, pulling the cap, it smells almost exactly like Light Blue Forever, to the point, if I was blindfolded and I had somebody, you know, give me each one and I had to distinguish the two, I'm not 100% sure I could. And that's fantastic, and I love it. You know, this is $35 to $40 or so. Light Blue Forever, at one point, for a brief period of time, wasn't too crazy expensive on discounters, but of course now it and Light Blue Italian Love are discontinued, and they are rising in price when they do happen to pop up. So if you want to get your hands on that DNA, this is just going to be about your only option right now. I mean, you can wait around, and they do pop up again from time to time, but, you know, summer might be over by then. You know, even if it pops up, you might miss it. And so just get Fragrance World Feroce. It's going to give you that Light Blue Forever DNA at a fraction of the cost. What is Light Blue Forever? It's all about the grapefruit. I'll leave it right there. Next up, we have Dunhill Century Blue. Blue fragrance that you just don't hear about every day. It's got orange, bergamot, and some iris in here. So a nice little twist. Of course, a ton of ambroxan as well, which is maybe a given, you know, blue fragrance. It does have a lot of it. I think they list off ambergris, but we all know it's just ambroxan. But I do like the iris in here. It's a nice little warm welcomed addition to give it kind of a warm smell on top of the citrusy blue fragrance style. It still is predominantly fresh, so you don't have to worry about that. You can still wear it in summertime, no problem. It's just a different style, a different approach, which is warmly welcomed when there's a lot of blue fragrances out there that can kind of smell similar. This is really the only blue fragrance in this video, so this is just a little bit of a different option for you. Next up, we have Chanel Allure Homme Edition Blanche. It's all about the lemon, the tonka bean, not tobacco, lemon, tonka bean, aldehydes, and that's essentially kind of it. You know, you get a little bit of like a C-note style in here, which is comparable to the original Allure Homme Sport and even Allure Homme Sport Eau Extreme. But Edition Blanche, what it's known for is the lemon, and it smells fantastic. You'll hear people say it smells like a lemon meringue pie. That's a pretty good description. And the way I describe this one and what I refer to it as is my summer gourmand. I don't have a ton of summer fragrances that are this edible smelling, but this is one that I do have, and it's also one of my favorites. You know, in wintertime, I love my gourmand fragrances. They're comforting, they're cozy, they just are delicious, and they're fun to wear. I get a lot of enjoyment out of them. Summertime rolls around, at some point I kind of start to miss that a little bit. If I am kind of wanting something like that, this is what I go for. You could pull this off for about anything in the summer. I would tend to gravitate towards this one more during the summer evenings. Things are cooling off, the sun is going down. This is a really nice option for a night out, but again, you could do about anything with it. There's enough freshness to where you could make it work. Next up, we have Hugo Boss Now. Let me double check. Yes, Hugo Boss Now. Lemon zest, watery notes, and ice. Sometimes the names, they start to get a little bit confusing. So this one, I love the presentation. Nice frosted glass, kind of gives it a cool texture, looks really sharp. And I mean, just listening to those notes, you could tell it's a very, very fresh, forward scent, and that's really what it is. Now it has ice, obviously ice shouldn't have a smell. You know, if it does, I would question the cleanliness of the water that was used to make that ice. But what it does kind of allude to is a cooling, refreshing, and bright style, right? That's kind of what the ice note would help to point to, and definitely does have that. You know, the lemon zest is really bright, really strong, and kind of gives it a nice pop off the opening. I mean, it smells fantastic. Really something good for the hottest of hot summer days when it's humid, it's hot, it's miserable, it's sunny. This will work. Let's keep it moving with Bulgari Man Rain Essence. You know, they've been coming out with a new one of these just about every year, I think. The line's getting bigger and bigger. This is one that I don't mind all that much. There's a few that I don't love a ton, but this one's pretty good. It's got green tea, orange, and musk in here, so a nice tea fragrance, which, you know, generally you're not seeing that note used a ton in men's fragrances, here and there, you know, and notably one that I always think of first is, well, there's a couple, Gucci Pour Homme 2 and Creed Silver Mountain Water, right? Those are a couple pretty popular tea fragrances. The Gucci is discontinued, has been for some time. The Creed you can still get, it's just expensive. And there's more out there as well, but it's not used nearly as much as bergamot, apple, lemon, and, you know, even like a black currant and a ton of other notes, right? It's just not utilized as much, but when it is used, it makes the scent stand out almost immediately every time. Does it smell like a rainy day? Yeah, perhaps maybe a little bit. A rainy summer day, Bulgari Man Rain Essence. Davidoff Cool Water Parfum. This is one of my favorite cool waters. It's got lemon, pink pepper, and vetiver. A little bit more of a woody approach here, not quite as fresh as the original Cool Water and or a lot of the other summer fragrances out there that you might be used to. I think this is worlds better than the original. I think it's better than quite a few of the flankers, whether they're the summer editions or the discontinued ones or not. As far as in production, what you can buy, Cool Water Parfum is one of the best in the line. I don't really think the original has a lot of value anymore. I mean, you could get something like Armaf Très Nuit, which has better quality and smells smoother, and get a similar result or better, is my opinion on that. Or any of these flankers, they work great too. A Cool Water Grapefruit and Sage is really nice as well, but Cool Water Parfum, great for summer. Azzaro Chrome Extreme, it kind of smells a little bit like Acqua di Gio Profondo, which is a very popular one, and, you know, a little bit more expensive. Not crazy, you know, on discounters, it's just a touch over $100. But Chrome Extreme, I mean, you know, it's $40 to $45, somewhere around in there. Can't even focus on it because it's so good. So you're saving money. You could get a couple bottles of this for the price of Acqua di Gio Profondo. And if this is going to be an everyday wear signature scent, that might be a consideration, because in the summertime, you know, with summer fragrances that maybe don't always have the best performance, typically you might spray them on heavier, right? Now Profondo and this, they do perform pretty good, at least on my skin. Profumo or Profondo will edge this one out a little. It still is a good performer, but you still might find yourself applying this one at a heavier rate than you would winter fragrances, so you might be burning through a bottle quicker. And being able to buy two for the price of one could be a good selling point, because this could easily be a signature scent that you wear every day, and you might even get hooked on it and just find yourself reaching for it more often than you thought. Kind of sticking with a similar price range, maybe a little bit less actually, it's Mont Blanc Legend Spirit. Smells quite a bit like Invictus Aqua. That's what gave this one that little initial boost, right? Because Invictus Aqua 2016 was out and it was doing good. Everybody was loving it. I was loving it. It became one of my favorite summer fragrances. But then, you know, discontinuation rumors started floating around, and that made everybody scared, myself included. But, you know, even beside that, Invictus Aqua 2016, 2018, they were always a little bit more expensive. Not crazy, but this has always been $30 to $35. So not only has this been a more affordable alternative, at one point this was just an alternative because Invictus Aqua was no longer able to be purchased. And these days, with Rassasi House being out and maybe some other clone brands having an Invictus Aqua clone or whatever, you don't hear about this one as much. However, I do like Legend Spirit because it actually has a little bit more of a soapy, clean, aromatic approach. Invictus Aqua, it's a great summer scent. Rassasi House, a great summer scent. They're a couple of my favorites to wear in the summer. I love everything about them, but they do have a bit of a sweetness to them. This one kind of manages that a little bit. Let's keep it moving with a niche fragrance, although, I mean, this one, it's under $100. It's niche, but definitely isn't priced like it on discounters. Mancera Vetiver Sensuel. It's got lime, lemon, orange, bergamot, and then of course, vetiver. So another more woody approach as far as a summer scent, but you heard it there. There's a ton of citrus and fruit off the top as well. Very, very fresh, very bright, very musky, just with a kind of a soapy, clean vetiver undertone. Nothing about this vetiver is earthy or strong or you know, just heavy. You know, it's a very light, refreshing, easygoing, modern style of vetiver. I mean, this one, it's super, super wearable. There's a lot of Mancera fragrances out there, a lot of which are amazing, a lot of which are talked about quite a bit. You don't hear about Vetiver Sensuel all that much, but it's a great one. So we're going to go ahead and knock out another niche fragrance here, although this one's it's a little bit more expensive. This is more like it. You know, the people who have money burning a hole in their pocket and they want to really spend some money. This is kind of going to be that, although it is more affordable than the original of this, and you can get it on discounters. It's Roja Parfums Elysium Eau Intense. So this one pops up for right around 200, 205-ish for a 100 ml Parfum Cologne. The regular Elysium Parfum Cologne usually is around 220 or a bit more. And of course the Parfum is, you know, 485 at retail, drops down into the mid, upper 300 range. You get the point. This is going to be one of the more affordable Elysiums. And contrary to the name, it's actually a bit fresher than the original Elysium. And you might not think that. You see Eau Intense, which makes you think it's going to be stronger, but then you see a beautiful frosted glass bottle, kind of a what is that? A nice machined, kind of gunmetal-ish looking cap. Beautiful presentation. But then you smell it, and again, you look at this presentation, and it doesn't really align with Intense. It should be Elysium Eau Fresh. I think that would make a lot more sense. So it is brighter than Elysium. Now, it still has that vetiver smell that is you know, what makes Elysium stand out. It's a very specific type of vetiver compound mixing with the black currant and the ambroxan and the citrus and the fruits and all of that stuff, right? This still has that, but just a fresher, lighter approach. If, you know, Elysium was a bit too sweet for you sometimes in the summertime, this won't be. YSL Myself, just the original Eau de Parfum. It's got bergamot, orange blossom, and ambrofix. I love it. I think it smells really good. It's not super unique. It's not super exciting. You've smelled things like this similar before, I'm sure. But for a bright, you know, sparkling summer scent, God, I absolutely love how that smells. It has a little bit of a sour punch too. It's just a head turner, punchy, sexy smelling cologne. You can't beat this stuff for summer. Dropping the price range back down with Calvin Klein Reveal. I love the presentation. It kind of is Gucci Envy-esque, you know, Gucci Envy-esque. It's kind of like inspired by it, you know, because the cap goes over part of the bottle. Reminds me of it in a way, except it's not green, and it doesn't smell anything like Gucci Envy unfortunately. But I do think this is worlds better than quite a few other, cheap summer scents out there. It's got mango, agave, pear, brandy, and salt. Kind of has an aquatic smell with a little bit of a sweetness and then a really nice fruitiness and a bit of a bubblegummy texture too. I think it smells great. It's easy to hate on. It's a Calvin Klein. It's kind of a cheapie. All that stuff is going against it. But, when you smell this one and you give it a chance in summertime, it's really, really quite fun to wear. And I find myself reaching for it from time to time. Coach, Open Road. Love the bottle. Kind of has a Dior Homme stem going down the middle there. Very sharp looking, very classy and elegant, minimalistic design here. It's got vetiver, lemon, and apple. Another kind of woody, clean, soapy vetiver scent with a fruity, citrusy undertone. Can't go wrong with that stuff. Smells great, it's fresh, it's uplifting. Any guy can pull it off at any age. What's wrong with it? Nothing. We'll finish things with the cheapie here. Bentley for Men Black Edition. Man, this stuff is great. It's got violet, tangerine, and cedarwood. I think the Bentley for Men line is one of the best bang for your buck fragrance lines out there. This is just yet another scent that is holding up that claim, because it smells like it could be more expensive than what it goes for, which is in that $30 range. Again, not your usual suspect for a summer scent. It's a bit different. There's actually like, I think an incense note in here and a couple other oddball ones that you don't really pick up on as much, but when you start kind of diving into this one, you can see where they're alluding to. It's a really fun one to kind of explore and to wear, and it works good for a summer evening. Alrighty guys, that's going to do it for me. 15 fragrances that will help you build up the perfect summer collection. I will link all of these down below, that way you can get them. And if you want to be notified of anything rare, discontinued, or hard to find coming into stock, jump on my mailing list and texting list at the link and number down below. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.